Been quite a while since I made a YouTube video, but I've been doing a lot. As you can see, open primary belt drive on the Lowrider S, no more 63 C10, and most of all, a 1970 Charger, which, as you can see, came with a whole crap ton of parts, interior parts. Those buckets are full of a whole bunch of stuff, valve covers, steering column, more interior parts, and then all of this over here that I've been sorting already. I just started labeling stuff. Like this is a box full of brand new valves, distributors. There's 2 distributors in there, some gauges, brake assembly, carburetor and seat belts. Just so much stuff. And this ain't even half of it. I still got my buddy's truck is still full, the whole bed, plus the interior on his truck is full. Stock seat out of the car, 440 intake, new inner fenders, a spoiler for the car, which I'm never gonna put on, but somebody might. 68 Charger, headlight door, some more underbody car or undercar body parts. I think this is a trunk extension, if I'm not badly mistaken. Yeah, Charger trunk extension. More interior parts. This isn't even half of it, but the main thing is 70 Charger. So picked it up pretty dirt cheap for what it is, and as y'all can see, there's no rust anywhere. The typical Charger spots, there's nothing. There might be, that's just paint and looks like a little bit of Bondo, and not even. But yeah, frame rails are good, torsion supports are good, bottom of the doors are perfect. Back end, somebody already replaced the skins, the quarter skins. So I gotta go in and fix, like this line right here is not very crisp. It's supposed to be a real crisp line on Chargers. Like up here on the door you can see, like it's a sharp, crisp line. But back here, wherever they was welded in, I guess they put a little bit of filler on there. Maybe, and just didn't get it quite right, which it's no big deal. The worst part about the car is probably the back glass. You can see somebody did some fiberglass. I'm not even gonna call it a repair. It's just a crappy way to repair a car. And then somebody started putting this skin on, and they didn't finish it. They just tack screwed it down. So I got to recut perfectly where it's gonna line up, and then just tack it in, fix that tiny little rust hole, and then I gotta put the back bumper on. I gotta redo these valence corners. It's hard to see, but they welded in the valence corners. So, like that one's all welded in. It's hard to see, but they didn't do a very good job patching it. But luckily, there wasn't much rust on the car, so they didn't have to patch much. So I ain't gotta go back and redo their work. But the rocker is good. This front fender is good. Besides, there's this dent right here in the front fender, which I'll just get underneath there with a hammer and dolly and pop that back out. The front grille is perfect on the car, besides that little crack right there. That's the first thing I've seen. Charger 500. I'm not gonna pop the hood just because it's so hot. Can't even touch it for long. But it is right now the car has a 383 big block in it, 4-barrel, auto car, but from the factory it was a 383 2-barrel car, auto, console, bucket seats. It had the performance hood option, which means that these scallops in the hood, it's like these little scallops in right here where it dips in, they was painted a flat black. So the Charger was a burnt orange with a white vinyl top, burnt orange interior with flat black scallops on the inside, which is I think that's pretty lit. But they also, this car is also a light package car, so it has the turn signals on the hood, 3-speed wiper motor, which was an option, 8-track AM radio. So as you can see, this isn't the original steering column for the car, because this has the shifter on the steering column, where this car was, as you can see, the brackets and everything in the hole in the floor. This was an auto on the floor. And you know it's not stick shift on the floor because there'd be a big hump right there on the side of the trans tunnel. for the shift linkage and everything. But came with some racing seats. Way too many parts. I got a full 1968 grill from, I mean, the whole thing, the headlight assemblies, the buckets, the vacuum actuators. Then this up here in this box is a front valence, I think. I hadn't even really looked that much. What's the front valence? So it'll go right here in this little cutout. So it'll bolt in right in there, and then it'll come around the front, and that's where the marker lights up front, those sit like right here on each side. But yeah, picked it up, and the dude was super nice, gave me a whole bunch of extra parts. Still got to go back and grab a 440 big block and a 727 trans that he said I could have, which that's gonna be a couple days, just cause I gotta unpack this car and try to get everything labeled like I've been doing, like all this stuff, valves, distributors, get everything labeled, get it put up in my house somewhere or in the garage, get the car off the U-Haul trailer, so I returned the U-Haul trailer, and then go back and pick up the 440 and the 727 trans. And then all the spare parts that I got in my buddy's truck, there's like there's 440 6-pack rods in there with new pistons, but the wrist pins are seized up, but they're still 440 6-pack rods, so you know, just put a little bit of heat on the wrist pins and they'll pop right free, and then you got yourself original 440 6-pack rods. And there's a whole bunch of stuff, 4 doors, a deck lid for the car, which, I mean, this deck lid's fine, but spare deck lid, 4 extra doors, 68 Charger grill complete with the vacuum actuators for the flip up headlight doors, a whole crap ton of trim. I probably got enough trim to fully trim 3 or 4 Chargers. I'm trying to think what else there was. There was just a whole bunch of miscellaneous stuff. Like, we'll come over here. Hopefully this door don't hit the fender. Oh, mint. But as you can see, 440 exhaust manifolds, some valve covers, some rocker arms and shafts, harmonic balancer, ARP kit full of all the bolts I'm ever going to need for the car are in there. More valve covers. There's a box somewhere. It might be in my buddy's truck still, but it has the rocker arm shafts with roller rockers. Nice, so nice, and they're all oiled up so that way they didn't start rusting over the years. Another racing seat, more looks like headlights and stuff. Just a whole bunch of random stuff. Some trim, some interior parts. And this was an AC car in the factory, as you can tell by the AC ducts. So it was actually a decently optioned car, and I got the fender tag and the title for it. So it's pretty legit. It needs a new dashboard, which I actually think. Actually, yeah, I have a new dashboard in my buddy's truck, and I got the gauges. I got that steering column, which I'll use, and I'll just take the shifter off the column. I'm not restoring the car, which I know some people are gonna be mad at, but I don't have the money to restore it, nor do I want to restore it. You restore a car like this, and then you can't drive it. You're gonna be scared to drive it. You're gonna be scared to park it at Walmart, go grocery shopping. I just want a solid car, so I'm gonna fix all the rust, and I just want a solid car that can go thrash around. So a ratty muscle car. So a decent paint job, just a flat black or primer, or even like this. I just want to fix the rust and go thrash on it. So first thing I'm gonna do after I unpack all this stuff is I'm going to yank the engine out, probably build the 440, throw the 727 and the engine in, and then wire up the car, because he gave me a whole new wiring harness and everything I need. And then get it running and driving, and then fix the rust after I get it running and driving. Because the rust on the car isn't bad. Like, this car isn't rusted out so bad. Actually, it's not rusted out at all. This car is in good enough shape where, you know, I could fix this little rust hole as I'm driving it. You know, one day, I could do that one day, literally after work, just fire up the MIG welder, and I could cut out a patch right there, a little tiny square, or I could just fill it in with weld, grind it smooth, make sure it's solid. The only problem is going to be doing this skin, which that's still no problem. Got a MIG welder, just cut it right, take some measurements, line everything up, cut all these spot welds out. You can see they didn't do anything, they just literally just laid it over. But rear frame rails are perfect. Everything on the car is perfect. I think it's 8 3/4 rear end. I know the 7 3/4 and 8 3/4 look a lot alike. I'm not up to snuff on my Mopar stuff, so I'm gonna go 8 3/4 just because it's a big block car. So hopefully they put 8 3/4 in, although it wasn't optioned. And the fender tag didn't mention anything about a rear end or a posi unit, but maybe they're just factory. Maybe like if you option the big block, maybe it comes with automatically a 8 3/4 rear end instead of the smaller one. I don't know though. Haven't done enough research. Just because I just got the car last night actually. Bought it yesterday morning, got it home last night, and still gotta do everything. I got the what are they called? Fender extensions, I think they're called, to go on there. I got trunk extensions to go down here on this side because as you can see, it's just nothing. So yeah, this is my 70 Charger, which is my dream car, which is why I sold the 63 C10. I didn't even see this car. This car just popped up the night before yesterday, and I sold the 63 C10 about a month ago. I just knew that I was tired of working on it, and I wanted my dream car. So still gotta get rid of the tailgate and the bumper for the 63 C10 and the hoods, but I'm gonna straighten this out in a couple hours after I get everything pulled out of it, back it in here, and hopefully be driving it in a couple months because I got everything. It's got a 383 in it, and he said he didn't know the condition of it, but it's solid. It's there from carburetor to oil pan. So as long as the motor ain't seized up, which is a good chance it is because there's no air cleaner on the carburetor, which means you got water and moisture down in it all those years it was sitting outside. But it's no problem. All the parts I don't need, I can just sell. Like all these are, front valence lights, I think. And they're all for 68 Charger, which I think they're the same for 70. But like, there's 5 or 6 of them in there. There's more in the car I just saw. There's a bunch of stuff I'm not going to need, like all these 68 marker lights for the side. I think I got 2 red and 3 amber. And yeah, 2 red and 3 ambers. I'm not going to need those. Those only fit the 68 Charger, where this one has the rectangle marker lights. And then the 68 Charger grill, complete. So there's just a bunch of stuff that I'm not going to need. But I think I'm going to show y'all more after I get more of this stuff pulled out. Just trying to get stuff pulled out and organized. So I'm labeling everything so that way I ain't got to go digging through boxes just to find a seat belt or a carburetor. Which I mean, this carburetor's no good, but it just needs to be refilled. But alright, I'll bring y'all back in a minute. Alright, so I'm back. It's been a couple hours later. Got everything cleared out. Today's my day off, so I'm not really rushing. Just kind of, relaxing for a minute. But as you can see, got everything. So this is front valence. Some exhaust manifolds. I can't find those casting numbers anywhere online to figure out what they came on. Wiring harness, another gas pedal. Hardmark balancer, freeze plugs, and valve seal and bolt kits. Motor mount kit. Just a bunch of random stuff. Gauge cluster. The valves again. Pretty much everything is out of the car now. And this is still only half of it. Like I still got the doors, the trunk lid, the grill, a whole bunch more trim and everything. Still my buddy's truck. I gotta get. He's gonna be coming over later this afternoon. And we'll be pulling all that out, which is even more. And then this stuff in here is just old racing seats. Looks like a battery tray maybe. And then just random stuff. But you can see the inside of the car isn't bad. So like that hole right there is a factory hole, but it's just rusted around it, right? And then I'll pick the seat up, and I think this is the worst spot in here. So it's hard to see, but there's like a tiny little hole there, and then there's some holes over there, and just some serious rust. But everything seems to be going good. So I guess that's pretty much all for now. I need to put that one to crank. But other than that, pretty much everything on this car is solid. I got all the A-pillar plastic pieces. I got another dome light. The back seat actually looks pretty decent, besides being dirty, but doesn't really seem to be any rips or anything. I got more of these armrests with the ashtrays, which these actually look pretty decent. They just need to be cleaned up. Like, they look terrible. They just need to be cleaned up. And a random dog. Don't know whose dog that is. She seems nice though. Come here. Okay, okay. Never mind. But yeah, so all this stuff is seeming pretty good. Let's see the back windows. Ooh. Ooh. Ah, they're a little stiff, I think. Yeah, they're stiff. You know what? Roll that back up. Yeah, these back windows roll down for everybody that don't know. And but everything actually seems pretty decent. Like, it's got some surface rust in here, and I don't have a headliner. And to be honest, I can't really see myself buying one. So that's probably gonna stay like that for a while. But it just needs to be cleaned out. So after I get this put in the garage there this afternoon, and all the other parts laid out, labeled, get some pictures taken of them, I'm gonna, I guess, try and vacuum this out and then start on really assessing what the car needs. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to like just dive in. I really need to make a list of what the car needs that I don't have, and then start, you know, doing the interior, put the new dashboard in, put the gauges in, put the steering column in, take the motor out, just piece by piece. I'm not trying to get it done within, you know, a couple weeks, but definitely gonna be cranking on it on my days off and after work. So hopefully it'll be done in a decent amount of time. And hopefully, maybe, I know the factory put the build sheet on the back side of the back seat. I think. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. So hopefully the original build sheet's still back there. Even though, I mean, I got the fender tag, which is still at my buddy's house. But, oh, yeah, hopefully it's back there. But the inside of the car is pretty solid, and the doors are solid, just door hinges. I need to replace the bolts in there because the doors fall down and you gotta pick them back up to be able to shut it. But everything looks clean, you know what I'm saying? There's no rust down here. It's just paint chipping off. There's, you know, all these holes are like factory holes, and luckily the guy took all the plugs out of like the big holes. That hole back there, he took the plug out so that way the water would just drain. It was sitting with the window open, so that driver window was open the whole time it was sitting for like 3 to 5 years, I think the dude said. He couldn't remember. But yeah, but half these parts I'm never going to use. Like all these lights right here, all these are for 68 and they won't fit a 70. The 70 are oval, they're like an oval shape. And I just take the new valence I have. The new valence in this box is for a 70, and it's oval shape, so I won't even be able to use all those lights. There's like, I think 3 or 4 whole sets. There's like 4 whole sets in here, and that one's cracked, but like that one's good. All the ones underneath are good. It's just stuff I'm never gonna be able to use. So I guess at some point put it up for sale. Put like the manifolds up for sale. Just sell everything I don't need. Alright, I'll bring y'all back in a minute. Alright, so it's the next day, and basically yesterday I got all the parts put up into the house, got my buddy's truck emptied out, all those parts put up, and then today I'm just cleaning the Charger off. As you can see, the floors are mint. There's a little bit of rust on that side, but for being, you know, 50 years old, I'm not mad. So that's the main rust right there, and there's like those little holes, and there's little holes down there, and you see this big hole is rotted out around the edge, but nothing I can't handle. And the back seat is mint. One little crack over there, it just needs to be cleaned, shampooed, and everything. And yesterday I said that this car was a 383 car, and it is a 383 car from the factory. 383 big block 2-barrel car, but and then whenever I bought the car, the gentleman I bought it from said that he had a 440 block and a 727 trans, which is the beefy 3-speed automatic trans that goes with the big block cars. He said I had a 440 block and a 727 trans that he would just let me have. And I was like, oh, okay. But we didn't have enough room after we packed up all the not tools, but after we packed up all the parts and packed up the charger to grab the engine and the transmission. So I just didn't worry about it that day, and I was just going to hit him up today or tomorrow to see if I can come by and just pick up like the transmission. At least just the transmission, which I mean I don't mind even if I had to buy one, because I was thinking this was a 383. They said there was a 383 in here, but it's not a 383. So did some research and they said the #1 way to show between a 383 and a 440 is this pad right here. So 440s, all the tall deck or standard deck big block Mopars have this pad, and then all the short deck like the 383 won't have this pad. The 383 is just identified by this pad over here. It'll have some numbers on it. But this pad, as you can see, it says G440 and a couple of little numbers down here at the bottom. But the G440 means that it is G stands for 1971, and 440 for 440. So 440 big block still has the original manifolds on it. So it's a good block. Like this isn't like a, I mean even like a motorhome block is still good, but this is, you know, in 1971 they still was at their peak horsepower. I don't think Mopar started lowering their outputs in their engines until 72 or 73. So, I mean it's rough and it's locked up. I tried to unstick it yesterday. That's why today I didn't even worry about covering it up whenever I sprayed off the car. Just because I gotta pull the engine anyways, and I gotta tear it all apart, unstick the pistons, which I'm just going to throw some transmission fluid into the cylinders, and that should unstick them, and then tear it all apart, see what needs to happen, take it to a machine shop, see if they can give it a light hone or bore it out the minimum. But yeah, so the car now that it's all cleanish, you can actually see it a little bit better. The floors is probably the main thing I'm happy about. I do not like the floors, but that's the only rust on the car, which is not good, but it's not terrible. So that, and then around the rear window, you see somebody put fiberglass in, which even like up here is not bad. Like all through there, it's pretty solid. And then it's just like on the corners, and then like right through there, it's pretty bad, but the center is solid. And then down here is pretty bad, but none of that rust is going to get fixed before I drive the car. The only thing that's going to get fixed before I drive the car is probably not even this quarter scan, just because I don't have a MIG welder. The only welder I have is TIG and stick. I don't feel like TIG welding this whole panel. It's going to be too much heat. So, alright, so I guess that last video cut out halfway through for some odd reason, but I don't even know where I left off. But yes, one thing I haven't think of, so you can see the original color here was burnt orange, and it had a white vinyl top. As you can see by the holes. But I think I was about to walk inside and show all the parts that I got for the car. Go inside real quick. Four doors, deck lid, doors, almost all of them have glass. And this one has the, it's called the remote race mirror for the driver's side, which my car was actually optioned with, but I don't like it, so I'm going to keep the standard mirror on. 68 grill, inner fender, trunk extension, all the interior parts, glove box, more manifolds, valve covers. I got like 4 sets of flip hinges, 4 shift, 2 center consoles, and the whole dash piece, and then all the controls like the lights and everything, shaft mounted roller rockers, 4 hood hinges, just everything, a steering column, which is right there. for. Just gonna clean up the garage, move all this crap out. I got the bumper for the 63. That's the tailgate for the 63. I need to clean up all my primary parts that was on the dyno until I put the open primary on it. But yeah, I guess right now, just gonna put all this crap back over there. Probably gonna end the video here, and then because nobody wants to see me taking this off a trailer. So next thing is I'm just gonna straighten out the trailer with the Jeep, get it evened up, push the car off after I straighten out the front tires, and then I'm not even gonna put that on video. The next video is gonna be me yanking the engine out and putting it on the engine stand and starting to tear into it. Because like I said before, it's seized up, so that's why I didn't even cover it with a bag. I didn't cover the carburetor with a bag or anything. But it's seized up, so I gotta rebuild it anyways, so no point covering it up. But basically, just gonna yank it out, start at the top, take the carburetor intake off and the valve covers, then you know, the exhaust manifolds, the heads, the whole front accessories, oil pan, just see what I got, see what needs to happen. It's probably going to have to be bored over just because the pistons are stuck. So I'm going to dump some transmission fluid on top of the pistons and let it seep for probably all day or something. Try to unstick the pistons and then just go from there. Try to get it bored out as easy as possible. See how this is a 71 block. I'm not trying to ruin it. It is it's a nice block. And I'm assuming those are original heads, which I'm not going to go back to those heads or that intake manifold or any of this front drive accessory. I have a new water pump, new crank pulley, I think. I'll buy a new alternator. And I'll buy a new water pump too. Or, I mean, not water pump, but power steering pump. I don't know how good that one is, and I don't want to, you know, build a whole engine and then put an old power steering pump on, and then that be the limiting factor of me driving the car that afternoon that I get fired up or something, you know? Yeah, but that's gonna be all for today's video. Next one's just going to be our engine apart, so catch y'all then.